Aloha everybody, welcome to the Hawaiiverse podcast, a podcast that supports local by sitting in the back of truck beds, eating ono plate lunches, and constantly complaining about potholes. That's the island life. I'm so stoked for today's episode because I've been trying to get this person on the podcast since we started, and I'm so happy and grateful it has finally worked out. But before we introduce our guest, I want to change things up a little bit. Usually we do a local business shout out and announce a giveaway later on in the podcast, but I want to start doing it in the beginning now. So this local business shout out goes to Gadget Gear Hawaii. They are Hawaii's only Polynesian portable speaker. When this episode comes out, we do a giveaway. So Kwani, solid brother right there, is giving away a Polywave speaker worth over $200. So make sure you go check that out on Hawaiiverse. And he's also gifting a speaker to our very special guest today. Okay, so let's introduce her. Our guest today is a beautiful Native-Hawaiian singer-songwriter from the island of Oʻahu. Known for her originality in song composition and her soulful vocals, she is one of Hawaii's top female musicians of not only our generation, but of all time. Yup, I'm pulling a Kanye and saying she's one of the best of all time. She is a Nā Hōkū Hanohano award winner. She has sung with legends such as Jack Johnson and Ziggy Marley. She has performed at famous venues such as Madison Square Garden, the Sydney Opera Forecourt, and is a 3-time return artist to the White House. She's a wife, an activist, a perpetuator of positivity and Hawaiian culture, and is an inspiration to many. Her heart is as pure as her voice. She's Paula Fuga. Welcome to the podcast. Aloha, Paula.
Aloha. Thank you so much for having me and for that wonderful introduction.
Yeah. I was slowly running out of breath, so it ended perfectly.
Perfect.
Yeah. Well, it's so nice to meet you. Did I say your last name correctly?
You did.
Okay. I've been practicing. I've been practicing really hard.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah. So before we start, let's focus on that a little bit because some people say Fuga, some people say Funga. So can you give us a quick lesson of how to say your last name correctly?
Yes. My last name is Fuga. F-U-G-A, but the G makes a NG sound.
Mm-hmm. Like a nga.
Yeah, like a nga. Like the phone is ringing.
Okay.
Like ring or rung.
Yeah.
So Fuga.
Awesome. Okay, so just keep that in mind, people. And what was really interesting, so when we do a little prep call before the podcast, and after I was asking how to pronounce your name, I went on YouTube for an hour and a half, and I was trying to learn the Samoan language. And what was really interesting is that I started to see words that were similar to not only Hawaiian but the Malagasy language, and that's the language they speak in Madagascar. And I was there for a couple of years, so I learned Malagasy. And in Samoan, they said mafana fana or mafanga fanga. That's warm. And in Malagasy, it's mafana. We say mafana fana, which is the same exact word.
And it's kind of close to Hawaiian, mehana,
Mehana, yeah. So it's all similar. It's all in that same Austronesian family.
Wow.
And it's crazy because, they're not necessarily close to each other.
I don't even know where Madagascar is.
It's on my forearm right here. But it's on the other side of the world, so almost exact opposite of Hawaii. It's off the coast of Mozambique, so off of South Africa.
Oh.
Yeah. It's its own little island. Fourth largest island in the world.
Wow, that's really cool.
Yeah, but that was just something cool that I kind of noticed when I went down that rabbit hole trying to impress you.
Don't impress me. Impress yourself.
Oh, yeah. High five myself.
High five. High five self. Good job.
Yeah. Well, so I'm really excited to learn your story. I love your story. And what's really cool is I became a fan of Paula the person before I became a fan of Paula the musician. And what I mean by that is I'm kind of embarrassed to admit this, is I didn't know about you until after I came back from Madagascar. So growing up, I wasn't really into the local scene. I was that kid just always wanted to go away, and I was interested in everything outside of Hawaii. I was just telling you, I went to Hawaiian immersion school. I wasn't into all the Hawaiian culture
because you grew up with it, so
yeah.
it was regular. It was common for you. Whereas somebody like me, I didn't grow up in a Hawaiian culturally based household, so I went to college to learn Hawaiian culture. Whereas you grew up in it. So that's such a beautiful thing. And it's only natural that you would want to experience more than what you were already exposed to. So I love that you went out and that you were interested in things that were different from what you experienced in Hawaii and got to get that experience. So valuable, you know?
Definitely. Yeah. And I'm just so grateful that as I got older, I started to realize how important everything here was. And I started to relearn my culture. And then by doing that, I learned about you and your music. And I'm like, how did I not know about this song, Lily Koi? How did I not know about the song Misery's End? These songs are so good. And then, my sister-in-law as well. So that's also how I started following your career. So I'm just very, very honored to have you here today, Paula.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me. And for those of you who don't know, his sister-in-law is a beautiful, conscious-minded wahine, and her name is Le Ha'aheo on Instagram. And that's how we ended up becoming friends. She followed me, and then I followed her, and she had your niece, Kani, who's like the most cutest, sweetest baby ever. Yeah. And Kani really loved my music. And so Lei would always send me, videos of her reacting to my song. And that just really touched my heart. And I love babies. So one day I was, I would always make comments like, oh, I wish you were my neighbor. She's like, I wish you were my neighbor. I'm like, I know, right? And one day I had to go to the Big Island, and I was supposed to go home on, I think it was a Monday morning. I was supposed to go home, but then I was like, hey, Lei, what are you and Kani up to this week? I'd love to come and hang out with you, you and your baby. Yeah. And so I did, and we had such a good time. And, I love it. I love Kani. She's so precious, and I always look forward to spending time with her.
Yeah, right. I would always get jealous because I would see stories with you and them, and I'm never there at the same time. So I was like, oh, I'm so jealous. You even went to my brother's work to eat dinner one time, and I was like,
oh yeah,
everybody in my family is
yeah,
meeting Paula except me.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, well, now's our moment.
Exactly. Yes, and I have so many questions for you, and I just want to say, like, everything you stand for, your sound, your voice is just so pure, and that's what I really love about it. Like, every time you sing, like, that conviction, like, I believe everything you say. And that's why I say you're one of the greatest musicians I think we've ever had from Hawaii, because, like, it really touches your soul. And that's why you said Kani, she's a baby. Yeah. Like, she doesn't know what's being said, but she can feel it, right?
I think so, yeah.
And I think that's what makes you so awesome.
Yeah. Thank you so much. It's really a gift, and I'm so lucky to have a gift like this that I'm able to share and tap into those emotions, and I truly believe that music is medicine, music is healing, and I feel like it's the reason I was given such a beautiful gift, so that I could, help heal not just myself and my family and all the trauma there, but like help others, with this similar situations or trials.
Yeah. And you come from a very humble beginning, right? So can you tell us about your childhood? Where are you from? Where did you end up graduating?
Well, I was born in Louisiana. My father was in the military. He was in the Army. And so I was born there. I was actually born in a trailer park.
Wow, crazy.
On a military base called Fort Polk.
I had no idea you were born in Louisiana.
Yeah. Oh, wow. It's not a very commonly known thing. But so I always thought, I was born in a trailer park. And one day I want to make something that that says, like, either a lyric in a song or like something that says trailer treasure, because when you grow up you hear about trailer trash. I love that. I always thought that was cool. When I found out I was born in a trailer park, I was like, wow, that's so cool. But yeah, so anyway, my parents moved back here. They didn't work out as a couple, and they split up. I spent some time living homeless on various beaches here on Oʻahu, and, kind of just like learning how to survive. So I'm like super street smart. I had to grow up really young, really fast, you know, because I had to malama my sister who's a year younger than me. And, you know, just being that older sister, I had to be very alert and attentive and, you know, be conscious of people who want to hurt or use me and my siblings, you know. And yeah, it was kind of nuts. But it made me who I am today, you know. And today I understand why I had to go through all of that suffering, because if I didn't experience any of that pain, there's no way I could feel so deeply when I sing and I emote the emotion of whatever song I'm singing about. And so I think it's because I was broken open so wide that is the reason that I'm able to make people feel all the things that I have felt before.
Yeah, I feel like going through something like that really makes you empathetic, right?
It does.
And I think that's what people connect to in the lyrics and the songs, right? So that's crazy. Do you ever find yourself having a hard time sharing that story because there's so much there's so much pain and
you
trauma
know,
from
the
that?
more that you share it, the less pain you feel. You know what I mean? I've been sharing my story a lot because I know that it not only does it empower me, but it empowers people who are listening to that story. And in particular, kids, the keiki, the youth, you know. That's why I do what I do. That's why I take chances and I speak openly about things that maybe are embarrassing, you know, especially when you're experiencing them as a child.
Yeah. Well, mahalo for being vulnerable and sharing that with the people, because it is really important to, especially someone like a public figure as you, seeing somebody like that share a story like that, it is empowering and is very inspirational. So mahalo. Did you end up going to high school or like?
Yes.
What happened?
So my parents kind of split up. I eventually got placed in foster care with my sister, and we were so lucky to be able to live with our grandparents. And I graduated from Kailua High School, and I went to UH Hilo for a bit.
Oh, Hilo,
nice. I was just going through the motions. I didn't really know what I wanted to do at that time, but I did say that I wanted to be a Hawaiian language preschool teacher. When I was going there, I didn't realize, nobody told me, hey, you should take music in college, you know. They never said, girl, you should take music and you should, you know, like major in music. It wasn't a thing, you know, like even my grandmother said, a musician? You're going to be starving. You're going to be a starving musician. Well, anyone can tell I'm not starving. But I understand the concern, you know, like having kids grow up wanting to rely on their art. You know, I can see how that would be scary for a parent who cares about your well-being and things like that. And especially growing up, you know, our parents probably believed that they had to go to school and get like a office type job, you know. But I was different. I always knew that I would be a singer my whole life, you know. And because I had a gift. And it's one of my missions in life is to encourage kids to find and discover their own natural gifts, talents, and abilities, because I truly believe that's what we're put on earth to do, you know. Whatever is your gift, that's what your purpose in life is, you know. It's definitely connected to that.
How do you find that gift, though? So, I mean, even for me, I didn't know what I wanted to do until maybe the second half of my 20s, you know. And when I was in college, I was just going through the motions as well. I was just kind of taking classes. I didn't know what to do. And what changed my life is when I studied abroad and was when I left Hawaii. And that's what really changed my life. But for you...
What is it that you want to do?
I just want to make people happy. I think I know it sounds super cheesy, but I just want to connect the community. I want to be able to give back and be a role model for the future generation. So that's what I'm trying to do. And I'm never motivated by money. I'm just I do what makes me happy. So I never want to get a 9-to-5 job.
Beautiful.
I just want to be in the community, be somebody that is able to connect with people. And that's why I love doing the podcast, because I get to sit down with people. And it's like a lost art, having a conversation, right?
It is. It seems like it. Everyone's texting.
Yeah.
People get offended when you call them on the phone. They're like, I'm like, what?
Yeah, it's crazy.
They're like, why are you calling me?
Yeah,
like,
I think to your
I want to talk to you.
Your last album, you had that song "Rain on Sunday," right? And in one of the lines, you say, "Put down your phone," or "Put away the technology."
Yeah.
Well, something like that, right?
Yes, I think it's turn off the TV, do something inspiring. Electronic devices, put them all away.
Put them all away. I love that, because once you get rid of all those distractions, and you're just left with this, me and you. You know, we can have a conversation, we can have these deep talks, and we can learn about each other. And I think that's basically my goal in life, is to learn as much as possible and understand everybody from different backgrounds, and connect.
Well, you're on your way to a good start with this podcast, so good for you.
Mahalo. So you ended up graduating from Kailua, and then what did you do after? You went to Manoa. UH Hilo, and then so how did you discover?
I dropped out.
You dropped out.
I was like, what am I supposed to? How do I get into music? Like, that's what I really want to do. And so I became an intern at a radio station. I was the first intern at 104.3 Extreme. And at the time they were located in Kailua. It was perfect because I'm from Waimanalo. It was a quick, it was a brief internship.
What happened?
I got fired.
I guess every success story has something like, I got fired, or I was turned down, or something like that, right?
I guess I got really excited, and I went go maha oi in somebody else's studio, and that guy complained about me that I was like not leaving him alone or something.
Or they found out that somebody was rigging all the giveaways, all the prizes. Rolla Runga kept winning all the prizes. Like, this sounds so fishy.
Vaguely familiar.
It's funny because you were telling me before the podcast that you used to call into the radio station and win all the prizes, right?
At the radio station, I would call and they would be like, did you win a prize 30 days ago?
That was my sister.
Oh, no, that was my sister. Misty.
That's funny. So when did you discover? Sounds like you knew that you had a talent. You knew you had a gift, and that you could sing, but you never capitalized that. You never.
Well, I didn't know how to pursue it.
Okay.
Yeah, and when I was in high school, I took ukulele lessons from Roy Sakuma because I wanted to. I actually had a crush on a boy, and I wanted to hang out with him, and he was a major shredder. So I had to figure out. I can't just sing every time, and be like, hey, you can play my song for me so I can sing. I thought maybe I should learn how to play ukulele, then I can sing my own song, and then he can jam with me or whatever. And that's how I enrolled in Roy Sakuma ukulele lessons. But after that, I sort of fell in love with playing my own songs, and I started writing. I went to college. It was back in the day of Ka'au Creator Boys, so everybody was jamming. Israel Kamakaviva Ole, I think he just passed away when I was, that was in either 96 or 97, and I was at UH Hilo. And it was a rough one. But music was so alive and growing and still, blossoming for me, for sure. And I kind of dropped out and tried to figure out how to play music. But it wasn't up until American Idol came here to Hawaii for the auditions, and I went to Aloha Stadium. I auditioned. I made it in front of Paula, Simon, and Randy.
Crazy.
And they didn't like me. They said no. They shut me down, and I was so bummed about it. Wow. But that opportunity opened all the doors for me. And then when they showed the auditions, the producers remembered me and brought me to Hollywood to do a show about the American Idol rejects, the people who got rejected that people liked or like people had a good feeling about. So I was lucky I got to go there. And then I wrote a little jingle about American Idol in Hawaii. And they asked me to write a full song. So I did, and I played it, and it was really cool, you know? And that right there, that show making fun of the rejects. Well, I know they never made fun of me, but they made fun of some of the other ones. And
like the William Hungs.
Yes,
Yeah.
It was exactly William Hung. He was there.
Well, that was that season?
Yeah.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, she bangs.
She bangs.
So when I did the special in Hollywood with the rejects, he was there at that show.
Wow. I probably saw you when I was young. I had no idea.
Yeah, probably.
Wow, that's so crazy.
It's all good.
Was that Jasmine Trias' season?
Yes. And Camille Velasco.
And Camille Ellie Mack now, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that's so crazy.
Yeah.
If you know, you know.
Yep.
Wow.
And then after that, I met somebody who was a production assistant on the crew that was filming here. And he gave me his card and his number, and he said, hey, you know, I have a degree in music and, you know, entertainment management. Like, give me a call if you ever need help looking over your contracts. So I did. I hit him up, and everything was like super crummy, you know, the deals people wanted. Somebody wanted a 7-year deal, like for me to sign a contract for 7 years. I was like, I don't even know what I want to do in 7 hours. Like, how can I commit to 7 years?
Yeah.
You know, this is ridiculous. And then just finding people who believed in me and my music and didn't want to like mold me into something that I wasn't, you know. So we ended up starting our own record label together, and we still have it till today. A record label and publishing company. He taught me how to do everything independently. And yeah, so we got a loan. We paid for my first album, made our money back, you know, and it's been a huge blessing and gift in my life. And then it took me a long time to get this latest album out, but I did. And yeah, I'm still good friends with that business partner, and we still have our first record label till today. But since then, I've been signed to Jack Johnson's record label with this latest album that I came out with, and I just feel super blessed. I feel like there's so much more to be done in life. I have other dreams and passions that I'm currently pursuing, and, you know, thinking of ways to how to create something that will last for a long time in a way where it doesn't require me to physically leave Hawaii. Because with all of the things that are going on now today, you know what I'm saying? Like with COVID and everything, it's just kind of like a little bit frightening, you know? Like last year I had 2 tours planned and they both got canceled. So now what I'm doing is I'm taking a step back and looking and seeing what I can do, what other talents that I'm not tapping into at the moment, what can I create for myself so that I can stay here. And so I'm working on those things right now.
Cool. And maybe you tell us towards the end of the podcast. People stay and listen.
Yeah.
That's very interesting how your story developed and how one door closed and another one opened, right? That's something that I think a lot of us can be inspired from, because rejection isn't always a bad thing, right? it can be the catalyst to something beautiful. So like with your American Idol story, that kind of just led to something else, and then that led you to your first album and like your second album. You're here. Your first album was released in 2006.
Yes.
Yeah. And then you had an EP a couple years later. And then your second one was just last year in 2021, right?
Yes.
So that's a pretty big gap, right? So when you're making these albums, when you're recording songs, how do you decide, I want to take 5 years, I want to take 10 years, I want to take a year between these things? Or it's just kind of the creative process? Like if something comes to you, you do it. If not, you just kind of stay patient.
Well, this latest album, I started it a while ago, and then I was discouraged. I got discouraged from making it, and I scrapped the whole thing. Whatever I had, I like threw it away. Like I crumpled it up and threw it in a wastebasket because I wasn't happy with it. And then it took a whole year for me to get back in the studio to work on it, And music is an art, and I'm an artist that is very emotional. So if I'm not feeling it, there's no way I can fake it and do it. You know what I mean? The inspiration has to be there. You have to want to. I can't just like pull it out of my hat. It's not like a magic trick. It has to come from someplace deep. It comes from my soul, And if it's not in there, if my soul's not willing to open up and let whatever it is that's inside of me out, there's nothing I can do about it, And so that period of when I was discouraged, it was a whole year, There's no joke. And I think it's because I'm empathic that everything is extreme. All the emotions are extreme.
Like, you feel hard.
If I'm happy, I'm super ecstatic, If I'm sad, I'm bummed and depressed, So I've learned throughout my life that my optimism is really a defense mechanism, because I can't let myself get too low or too down emotionally, because then I'm worthless. You know what I mean? I can't do anything. Like it's crazy. But so anyway, nobody goes into a project thinking, let me take 5 years to do this. They're just like, okay, let me do as much as I can, whenever I can. And then, also my musicians are Mike Love and Brad Watanabe, who have their own amazing musical careers. Brad is the bass player for The Green. And then my drummer who was on the project, his name is Leslie Ludiazo. He is the drummer and the music director of J Boog. So, it's really about timing and everything aligning and falling into place. And that's another reason or another factor that some projects will take longer than others because of that,
Yeah, that makes sense. And everybody has their own busy schedule. I mean, you're working with some big names like Jack Johnson. You have a song with J Boog as well.
Yep.
Yeah. And do you have a song with Mike Love?
Mike Love's on the whole album. He's the main producer of my last album, and he's also the guitarist. So,
but he doesn't sing.
No, he doesn't. But
okay,
he was
I just noticed that. Yeah, I never heard him sing.
But it's okay because if you listen to all of his songs, I'm singing with him. And if you listen to any of my songs, he's playing. He picked cool every single instrument part. He put that together.
He's so talented.
He is.
I see him on the board and doing the sounds he makes with his voice. It's like, is that even real?
And like he could have been on any of the songs, like singing, but he didn't want to. He just wanted me to have an album that was at the level of, and quality that I deserve, that I'm at. I'm at a certain level, and he wanted to help me produce this album that matches the level that I'm on. You know what I mean?
Sounds like a great friend.
He is. Yeah. He's one of my best friends for sure. And awesome. I love him so much. And Yeah. I can't wait to spend some time with him. He's coming here to Hawaii in I think next weekend. He'll be here on, I think, the Monday after next weekend.
That's awesome. Oh, maybe I should get him on the podcast while he's here. I know he's pretty busy, but we'll see. Anyway, speaking about how you're, empathic, I feel like that really comes out in the music. Like, you don't want to publish something that isn't real, right? Everything, like, if you listen to your lyrics, and I'm a big lyric guy, I'm not so much like the melody, the beat.
Oh, that's cool. I'm a lyrics person too.
Yeah, I think that's why I don't like, a lot of the newer music. It's like, come on, guys, like that's the best. I could write something better than that. But like, oh no, the beat's so sick. I'm like, oh, who cares? But because I'm a writer as well, and I wrote poetry growing up too, so it's like I never want to force it. So I feel like I know what you're talking about, where it's like if it doesn't come naturally, you just kind of stop, right? And then you pick it up again once inspiration hits you, right?
Yeah.
So during your creative process, like how do you get motivated? Like what inspires you to write something? Do you have people you look up to as musicians, writers? What is that process like?
Well, usually when an idea comes for a song, it's usually a thought that I've been thinking for a while and have been trying to wrap my head around it, But you never can plan for inspiration. I always say you can never plan to be inspired or inspiring. It just has to come. It flows, Like you can't like sit and waiting for like with your pen be like, okay, inspiration come now, I mean, like you can. I've written songs where somebody's given me an idea. For example, the Saving My Love song. My friend Adam Topol, he's Jack Johnson's drummer and percussionist, and he is the one that came up with that song and the title. He sent me the music, and because I already had a title, I knew what the song was about, and it was very easy for me to write. And then, for example, Rain on Sunday, I was sitting in the living room.
It was raining on Sunday?
It was a Sunday. I just eat breakfast in the living room watching TV. My husband was watching TV, and I was looking at my phone. And then this heavy rain came out of nowhere. It was like quiet, and then all of a sudden it was like boom, boom, like that. And I was like, whoa, this rain just came out of nowhere, And I was like, turn off the TV. He's like, my husband's like, why? I'm like, so we can hear the rain. He's like,
sure,
crabby
okay.
old guy. I'm like, what the hell? I'm sat there looking at him, thinking to myself, who the hell is this guy that I married that doesn't want to listen to the rain? This is crazy. How could I be with this guy? He doesn't even like the rain. And I sulked for like 2 minutes, and when I did that, this beautiful melody just came flooding into my heart. And it was like, listen to the rain on a Sunday morning. Let it fall, let it wash away. And I was like, oh my God. I grabbed my ukulele, went to the room, and I wrote the song right there, So like you can never... And that's the thing. When inspiration comes, you have to be ready for it.
Yeah,
you know? You have to be like, okay,
act on it quickly.
Yeah, record it. So many songs I've lost by not writing it down or like try to record something real quick, just a quick idea. And I've gotten better over the years. I still lose some of the songs, maybe 25% of the songs that come to my head I don't write down, but the other 75% I got it, like I'm getting better at it.
Nice.
Yeah. And now, everybody has a phone in their hands. So it's just really easy to go to your voice memos and press record and just get your little melody down, or your lyrics or whatever.
Yeah.
Just quickly, just so you can capture them and you won't forget,
That's awesome. So, did you have any musical inspirations that you looked up to when you were coming up? or as you were growing up?
Yes, I really loved female vocalists, soulful female vocalists, like Whitney Houston. I love Nohelani Cipriano, Loyal Garner, Naleo Pilimehana, Kaleo Okalani. Do you remember them?
Naleo, I remember.
But you don't remember Kaleo Okalani?
What song do they sing? Or
They're the ones that sing Never, Never, Never. I'll never, never, never wanna be in love with anyone but you. You make me laugh, you make me cry.
Oh,
you
yes,
make me
yes,
sing,
yes.
You make me sigh for you.
Okay, that's the second verse, or not.
Yeah.
Part of that I recognize.
Yeah. It's a really popular song from our childhood, for sure. But like those are the voices. That's the type of music I grew up listening to. Aretha Franklin, Stevie Wonder, Michael Jackson from when he was a kid, the Jackson 5, Janet Jackson, you know, all of it, all the pop music, Cyndi Lauper, Madonna, you know, like just growing up listening, being exposed to so many different types of music too, having grown up here in Hawaii with all the different cultures that come through and the different people who've settled here throughout the years, you know, they bring with them their music. And so country music, Dolly Parton, you know, my grandparents love Engelbert Humperdinck and Jimmy Swaggart. And yeah, it was really cool. Everything. I've listened to everything.
Yeah. And I think you have some different variations of genres within, like you have your style, right? But some songs, they sound a little different. Like one of my favorite songs is Country Road.
Oh, cool.
With Jack Johnson. That's one of my favorite songs. And I play it while I'm, you know, in the country or wherever I'm at. So, you know, it speaks to me. I'm that kind of guy.
I'm that kind of girl too. Like if I go to, like if I'm traveling through a state, like, you know, Philadelphia, I'll listen to people from Philly, or I'll listen to people from Texas, you know, if I'm in Texas, like just to feel that energy, or Chicago.
Yeah.
I'll listen to like, you know, Jill Scott or whatever, you know, like whoever's from wherever I'm at, I try to listen to that music.
That's awesome. That's what I do when I fly into Hilo. I'll play a song like that relates to Hilo.
Yeah. Oh, good. Every time I drive into Waimanalo from like Hawaii Kai side, coming around Makapu'u, I always turn on Brothers Casamaro. The I think it's called it's really called Kavika, but the part of the song that I like, the beginning of the song is, this must be just like living in paradise. And I don't wanna go home. I love that song. And so I blast it right when I enter Waimanalo. I'm like, it just makes me feel so good. But yeah.
It's so cool how music can do that and how it can take you to a place. There was this study, I forget when I saw it, but people with Alzheimer, they couldn't remember, but so they started incorporating music into their treatment or whatever it was, and then they would remember where they were when that song was playing. Like this old guy, like 80 years old, and like he doesn't remember anything, but they play like this song that was based in Louisiana.
When I was 25.
Yeah, exactly. And then and they recall it.
Yeah.
And that it's interesting how music does that to you, because like when I hear certain songs, I'm like, it takes me back to that place. Like one song, Everywhere by Fleetwood Mac. I remember, is that the name of it? I'm pretty sure. I remember just sitting in a cafe in Granada in Spain, and like that's the only memory I have of that place. But like every time I hear that song, it like I remember how I felt in that moment. And it's like the coolest thing with music, right?
Yeah, it's like a snapshot or something that's in your that lives in your memory, and it can instantly transport you back to that time and place.
Yeah, and it's cool that your music can do that to others.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. All right, so I have a lot more that we want to get into, but I want to get into Instagram questions, okay?
Okay.
So we have a couple here. First one I have to ask because my grandma told me. She's like, oh, I love her so much. Ask her this.
Your grandma?
So shout out to grandma. Yeah.
Aww.
She said she just wants to know, do you like performing like public events or private events better? Like, do you have a preference?
Well, that's a good question. The thing about private events are it's very personal, you know, and I think it's so special when I feel so honored if somebody books me for their private event because they're, you know, celebrating something very special to them in their life, you know, whether it's the graduation of their child or like their special day that they're committing to the person that they love forever for the rest of their life, you know. And it's always a thing where they have family and everyone's so happy and, you know, I love that. I love being a part of people's private events. I love singing at weddings. I love that the people want me there at their most special moment, you know. And to me, that's a true honor, you know. So I really like that. But I do love, you know, the public events too. It's hard to say. I love them both for different reasons, yeah. You know. Like the public events, I especially love when it's a free event to the public and the kupuna can come with the kamali'i as well. And that's always such a blessing for me because, you know, most of the times we play in like clubs or venues that, you know, it's too late for keiki to be out and about at, you know, or too loud for kupuna to come. So if there's a if there's a public event, say like at a mall or a park,
a beach or something,
I'm excited about that because we get to play in front of people that we don't normally play in front of all the time. And that's keiki and kupuna.
I love that.
That's what I love. I love those two events.
That's super cool.
Very much.
I've never seen you play live, so I'm gonna be at one of the events eventually when things open up and all this craziness ends. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, real quick, sorry. We'll get into the Instagram questions, but I was just thinking now, how difficult was it to navigate this whole pandemic as a musician? Because I know in the beginning everything was just shut down, right? Mm-hmm. So musicians just couldn't play, and now it's slowly opening up. So like, how much did you have to change your approach to music during that time? Well,
we definitely couldn't congregate as much as we would have liked to. You know, musicians. We had to do a lot of online streaming type of performances. Mm-hmm. And interestingly enough, you know, during the pandemic, a lot of us stayed pretty busy because people would ask us to play at their virtual event to raise money for one situation or another, you know, and we were busy with gigs like that. I mean, unpaid, we're doing it for free, you know what I mean? Because we want to help, because we have a gift. Mm-hmm. And it's your kuleana. If you have a gift and you're able to help, you help, you know? So we did. And I think we were just waiting for the opportunity to get back in front of live audiences. And so it's about using your time wisely and, you know, and going with the flow, and then also understanding that every person on earth is probably dealing with something similar to what you're dealing with. Mm-hmm. And we are just so blessed that we live in Hawaii, you know. For most of the pandemic, I was at my best friend's house, quarantining there, you know. And he has a beach house, so we have access to the ocean right there. So lucky. Amazing. Even if I'm at home on the North Shore, I have a beautiful yard that I could lay down in the sun if I wanted to. I planted a garden. You know, I did some of those things that you do, that a lot of people did. Mm-hmm. And, you know, just be grateful and try to just count your blessings every day, all day, you know, that COVID doesn't reach your doorstep, affect your family or your loved ones, you know, like just try to like keep the good vibes so that, you know, that stuff doesn't happen.
I love that. I remember earlier on this year in 2022, you posted something, you shared something on your Instagram. It was like, I hope the only thing positive about 2022 is your attitude or something like that, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. I'm talking about like a positive test of COVID, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like the only
I hope the only negativity you experienced this year is your negative COVID test.
Negative. That's what it was. Okay, I have to flip it around. Yes,
Yeah.
I love that. So, yeah, I love that you share stuff like that because it's just so positive, and we need a lot more of that in the world.
And like I said earlier, it's a defense mechanism.
Laughing through the pain.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Anytime there's real sorrow in my life or in my heart, like that I can't shake easily, I watch funny movies. Like they're my favorite. Comedy movies are my favorite, you know. Will Ferrell's my favorite actor.
So Step Brothers.
Yeah, Step Brothers. Anything just like silly and goofy, you know, humor. I love that, you know. And I love to laugh. And so I probably went through a really sad period in life not too long ago. So on my Apple TV, you know, I have every Will Ferrell movie.
I hope you can meet him one day. Have you met him one day?
I haven't.
Oh, I feel like you'll meet him.
I don't want to meet him because they say you should never meet your heroes because then you're gonna like not like them anymore because you've built them up so much in your head that when you finally meet them and they're just like a regular person, you're like, oh, what a dud.
It doesn't fit that expectation.
Yeah, I feel that people think of me that way too. I feel, you know, like I don't really want to meet people who have me built up in their heads. You, right? Yeah, like, hey, calm down. I'm just a regular human being, you know, with emotions just like you.
Yeah.
You know, like I have good days, I have bad days, and you know, I feel bad when somebody comes up to me and I could see the joy leave their eyes. Like I was at Zippy's during the pandemic, and I was on my way home to the North Shore. So I stopped at Zippy's in Wahiawa to get some food, and I get my food, I order it, I pay for it, now I have to wait for it, you know. And then some guy comes up to me and he says, Uso. Like I could tell he's Samoan. He's like got gym clothes. He's like sweaty. You know how like when you go to the gym, there's all those sweat marks.
Sweat marks, yeah.
Yeah, like that lets a person know that you just came from the gym. Well, he looked just like that. Sweaty, you know, like I'm kind of a germaphobe a little bit, but then he goes, what's your name? I go, oh, Paula. He's like, Paula Fuga. And I was like, yeah. He goes, oh. And then he like sticks his hand out for me to shake his hand. And he's like 2 feet away when we're like supposed to be 6 feet away, you know, and I'm like, you know, hardly leaving the house. And now like this guy wants to shake my hand.
Oh, sweaty.
I already know he was lifting weights. Did he? Like, who else was lifting weights? Like, what did you touch? Did you wash your hand? Like, so I kind of like did that move where you like kind of like put your shoulders, or you kind of like don't touch me, you know, like kind of like move my shoulder away from him. And he was so disappointed. He started calling me names, swearing at me, calling me a B word. I was just like, how's this guy?
I know.
Just because I didn't want to shake your hand, get over yourself.
I know.
You know?
Wow,
like,
that's
I'm a
crazy.
human being too. Like before I'm a singer, I wake up in the morning, I'm a human, okay? Yeah. Chill out. Back it up. Wash your hands, you know.
Wow, that's crazy. Does that happen a lot, or that's just one of those rare occasions?
Well, that was a very extreme occasion, but you know, like you know, if I'm on my way, like, or if sometimes you're in the bathroom and you just peed, and like somebody wants to like shake your hand, I'm like, no, man, I have to wash my hands. Like,
go with the fist bump.
How about an elbow or whatever? Like, it's the worst. Like, or like they want to take a picture in the bathroom, and you're like, oh my god, for real?
The bathroom?
Yeah, like, no, not in the bathroom. Wash your hands. Let me wash my hands. Maybe we'll take a picture outside, okay? Like, chill out.
That's classic. Wow.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I understand people are human too, you know, but like,
They get excited.
hey, I'm a human being
Yeah,
too,
yeah.
okay? Chill out.
That's something that we should definitely
If
keep in
I'm
mind.
eating, please. Come on, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't bother people when they're eating, because like they could be hangry.
Yeah, and you catch your favorite celebrity in just the wrong time.
Yeah, and then
you're
gonna,
just like, oh, that
it
person
ruins
sucks.
it for
Yeah.
you. Yeah.
Yeah.
So don't meet me.
Yeah, yeah. Everybody's food
Just
time is
keep your
personal time. Yeah.
Yeah, just keep your idea of me in your head. I'm sure it's better than
So
the real thing.
would you rather somebody come up to you or just like take picture from afar?
Oh my God, no,
That's also really weird, right?
Yeah, I've even had people come to my house with like one of my boys, you know, like, and then he bring one vahine. And if she never put her phone underneath the table and start filming me in my own garage, I was so pissed. I was like, oh no. But I tell my friend, because that's his vahine, right? I'm like, hey, her chick. Never mind. Like, this is my house.
Oh,
Like,
that's crazy.
give me my privacy, you know?
Crazy what people would do.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get back to Instagram questions. This one comes from Ha'ahel on Instagram. Le Ha'ahel. She wants to know, walk us through what an ideal perfect day would look like to you.
An ideal perfect day. I roll out of a tent on the sandy shores of Makapu'u to greet the sunrise. And after the sunrise, I jump in the ocean, take a quick dip, and then, you know, pack up my tent.
Maybe if it was ideal, would you have somebody else do it for you?
No ways. It's so easy. Because I have this tent, like you literally unzip it from a pouch and it like pops up right on its own. And then all you gotta do is like twist it and put it back in its pouch. So it's really easy. I've done this before. And yeah, probably after taking a dip and like you know, scanning the shoreline for shells, probably go get a smoothie somewhere.
What's your favorite smoothie?
Every day is different. So some days I'll want like a peanut buttery, more protein rich
Creamy one.
smoothie. Some days I'll want just all fruit, you know, like, and just really light. And then some days I'll do a fresh juice and a smoothie. But I love Lanikai juice. I've been going to them ever since they've been in Hawaii. I'm friends with the founder of Lanikai Juice. His name is Pablo, and I worked at a smoothie shop, and he was doing research for his smoothie shop and came to our smoothie shop to eat. Try our smoothies. So I feel like I'm still a good friend of Pablo. But yeah, anyway, yeah, I love Lanikai Juice, and then you know, it depends. A perfect day, maybe I just like cruise and go pick flowers and make lei, something like that.
And
Just
who's
like
around you?
hang out.
Are you by yourself?
No, I'm definitely with a baby.
Or you're gonna still Cunny, you're gonna have
I'm with the baby and the baby's mom. A perfect day, yeah. We'd have a cooler full of snacks for me and the baby.
Wow.
And we just eat fruit all day long and just like do whatever we want.
Awesome.
Like, cruising under trees in the shade.
Till the sun goes down.
Yeah, guarantee. Maybe a couple more dips in the ocean.
Any music involved in this day?
Yeah, during the driving.
What about singing, playing, kanikapila?
Probably that wouldn't be a part of my perfect day. Is
That's
that
interesting.
weird?
Yeah, I was thinking that because you didn't mention anything, but I guess because you do it so often, you kind of want to do something else, right?
Yeah.
Or whatever comes naturally, I guess.
I always say, and I feel like it's a quote from Khalil. How do you pronounce his last name? Gibran Khalil.
Who's this?
He's an author, a very famous author from like long time ago. I feel like he wrote the book The Prophet.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Anyway, there's a quote that he wrote, and it's, inspiration comes in the busyness of life. To sum it up.
Yeah.
What he said. So for me, living your life and doing those things, like having a beautiful beach day with the sweet little baby and all the snacks you could want, that is where the music will come from. You know what I mean? So like I don't really jam that much. Like if I don't have a gig, I'm not really jamming, you know? But I'm always constantly aware of new melodies and things like that, like the inspiration. I'm open to it, you know? And I'm not looking for it actively, but it comes, you know? And it comes when you're not thinking about it. And that's what I love, you know?
Yeah, I think a lot of the most beautiful things in life come organically and when you're not expecting it. Yeah, whether that's a relationship, a business opportunity,
absolutely,
your perfect day, like all these things.
Yeah, divine timing, you know?
Yeah, I believe that.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I love that. Okay, so I wanted to squeeze this one in. Another one from Lei. She wants to know, do you have any phobias?
Phobia. Well, I'm afraid of moles.
Oh, me too.
What is your fear of moles?
Okay.
Wait. Okay, you tell me yours. You tell me yours.
Yeah, okay, so like, I'm not afraid of anything in life. Like straight up, like I'm not afraid of anything. My fear gene got lost when I survived the Peace Corps. But the one thing I'm afraid of, and I've always been afraid of, is lizards, because moles. Because growing up in Hilo, we have a lot. You know, the green ones from Madagascar, the kind of fluorescent ones. You can see the inside. It looks gross. But they're always around me. And, you know, some people could say like aumakua, right? You know, they're just protecting you. But for me, it's like cockroaches, centipedes, whatever, things like that, flies, you can kill them. But I'm not going to kill a mo'o. I'm not going to smash a mo'o.
I know, me too.
So that's the thing. They're always around me, but I can never get rid of them. And I'm always thinking like, oh, they're going to go on me and they're going to crawl in my ear and take over my brain.
Oh my God.
Maybe not to that extreme, but that's like growing up. And there was always one in my room. Like, I would go downstairs and sleep in my sister's room just because I was just like, this mo'o is in my room. And like my friends know it. One time we went camping in Big Island and they had like a small one in their hand. I didn't know. They were on the beach. We were just cruising. Somebody like puts their hand out like to give me something, and I just open my hand, and then it was a mo'o, and I freak out. Then another time, they do it. They just throw it in my pocket. I had like boy shorts on. They throw it in my pocket straight up at the beach. I drop my pants. I drop it straight, just butt naked. I run back to our camp, put on some other shorts. That's how afraid of mo'os I am.
Oh my God, that's bad.
Yeah, no, I just like if you put it on me, I'll.
Oh my God,
out.
I can't. Yeah, I'm afraid of mo'os. That's the only thing. And my fear is, it used to be that I'll scream and they'll jump in my mouth.
Does this come from fear of the Parent Trap? You know that movie, Parent Trap, where the lizard is on the stepmom's like face? Did you ever see that movie?
You know what? That happened after my fear.
Okay.
Yeah, but yes, the Parent Trap. Did you see that? When the mo'o crawls in her mouth?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy scary. And then maybe like 3 days ago, I was watching a movie. I think it was a Marvel movie. And there was a scene where a guy goes, "Oh, here, I have a gift for you. It's a guide." And so he opens this like little basket and there's a mo'o. And then, so the guy's like, okay. Like he's thinking, so I just follow this lizard around.
Yeah.
And so the freaking mo'o jumps onto the guy, crawls up his nose or in his ear or something, and like he controls his brain. This is your fear.
This is my fear coming, my worst nightmare coming true.
No. And so after that scene, the mo'o came back out like when the guy was
What
done.
movie is this?
I don't even know. I gotta go figure it
Okay.
out for you now that I gotta go ask my husband. But he opens the basket and then the mo'o crawls back out of his nose and into the basket and he puts it away. I'm like, what the hell? Like, oh my God, honey, I think I have a new fear.
Oh my gosh.
That it's gonna crawl in my ear.
Yeah. I've gotten better over the years. Like I can, like, there could be one here and I'm okay with it. Like I know I'm just thinking it's not gonna go on me. But yeah, I'm just like, I don't want it to be on me. I don't want it to crawl on me because they're so fast. And
Oh my God.
yeah, and like I said, I can't kill them. Like cockroaches I can kill. All these other things I can kill easily. But just the lizards, I can't. Yeah. That's so funny.
What a trip.
What a great question.
Yeah,
Meg.
like I don't care about centipedes
Yeah.
or cockroaches or any of those things.
Yeah.
Like I can, stomp on them or whatever easily.
Yeah, I was asleep a couple times and a cockroach would go right on top of my face. I just wake up, brush it right off, and
In
get on.
Madagascar?
Oh no, even over here. In Hawaii. But yeah, in Madagascar that has happened as well. But yeah, I'm just very unfazed by other things. Just moles. But yeah, I wonder why. Maybe it's our Aumakua. They're just trying to protect us.
Maybe.
That's what I tell myself.
I definitely, in the last maybe 5 or 6 years, I learned something, and it's a hard thing to learn, but I learned that your intuition or the feeling or the sense that you feel in your na'au is actually your kupuna or your aumakua speaking to you directly. Your ancestors communicating with you directly. That's something that not everybody is taught, especially kids. They're not taught to trust and rely on their na'au. That deep sense in their gut, which is your seat of intuition. And so that's something that I have to constantly remind myself, like, follow your instincts because that's your kupuna speaking to you.
I think as a Hawaiian, it's easier for us to grasp that kind of mana'o. And I truly believe that. Yeah, I follow my na'au over my heart. Na'auledge is power. That's what I think.
Knowledge.
Yeah.
I love
na'auledge.
that.
It was a shirt from Painkillers, Farmers Market of Hawaii.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, but it's the na'au is so strong, and I think being able to follow that and listen to it is definitely a superpower. Yeah. All right. So last question, and then we'll continue on. Boss Lady Lani says, "Love her." Heart emoji. Does she have any advice for people wanting to begin a career in music?
Yes, I do. This is what I tell my nieces and my nephews because, they look up to me, but sometimes I feel like maybe they were hoping that I would give them a hand up, like I would do something for their careers.
Shout them out or something.
Or bring them on tour or like add them to my set, but I didn't. I haven't. And I told my nephew this. I said, hey, Auntie worked very hard for what I have. I'm very different. I'm different because I knew my whole life that this is what I would do, that I was given a special gift. You cannot compare yourself to me when you go out there. I told my nephew that it's up to him to make a name for himself, and he has to do that by, if you want to be a musician, play music, learn to play an instrument, and then write your own songs. You don't have to be a songwriter to be a song singer either, though. You know what I mean? But like, my advice is to find yourself, find out who you are, what your story is, because everyone wants to hear a good story. You know what I mean? Like, I'm different, and what worked for me is not gonna work for you because you're a different person on a different path, completely. And when it comes to figuring out what kind of music you should make the music that's inside of you. Because, for example, if you start writing songs that you think will be cool and popular, you're always going to be trying to figure out what's going to be cool and popular. But if you write the songs that are naturally inside of you, you never have to look outside of yourself for inspiration.
I love that.
Because as you grow, the songs will change too. Your songs, your musical abilities, your thoughts, the way that you express yourself, those things will change and grow with you. But if you're like trying to be something that you're not, it's going to take a lot more energy to pull that off than it will to let something flow through you in a natural and organic way.
I love that. I think that's a great message for people of all aspects of life, in all walks of life, because that's just not something that you can take towards a career in music, but also just a career in anything, or just like a good message in life. So mahalo for sharing that. I really love that. Super awesome.
Great question, boss lady.
Good job, IG questions peeps. So, do you have any passion projects or hobbies that you do outside of music?
Yes, I do. So outside of music, I'm currently working on a short film.
Oh, wow, nice.
It's a chunk of a much larger movie that I've had in my brain for about 20 years. And last year around this time, I made a list of things that I wanted to manifest last year. And one of them was to find a partner who would help me write my movie, who is equally as passionate as I am about my movie. And I did. I found a partner, and he's helped me gather my thoughts and helped me to get some of this movie down on paper, because and then while I'm doing this, I realized there's so many things that need to be developed, like the backstory of the person and, like the temperament and, like what makes this person tick or whatever, And so that's really fun working on that. And I have a deadline for our first script. So I had the idea to make this movie, and that's what led me to get a partner to write it. Then during the process of writing the full movie, I got to go to the opening of Hawaii International Film Festival. And I saw all these different cool short stories. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. I want to start telling my story, even if it's in parts, so that when the movie comes out, people will already know that this is the story that I was trying to tell.
And are you in the movie, or are you just producing it? Or
I'm writing it and producing it. I'll probably want to be a part of it. You know what I mean? Like just be in it in some way. And, it'll be easy for me to be in a movie. It's a Hawaiian movie, Maka'olelo Hawai'i.
Oh, Makai.
So, I mean, I match.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Do you Olelo Hawaii too?
Li'i vale.
Okay. Yeah. You can always add on to whatever knowledge you have.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
for sure. And it's a really cool movie. And then and that's what when I was telling you about ways that I no longer have to leave Hawaii to use my talents and creativity. That's one of the ways.
Yeah, you're a storyteller within your music and now within film. That's awesome.
And one of my main goals in creating these movies or telling these stories in a cinematic way is to capture or highlight old practices that are no longer in use, like ancient kind knowledge.
Like kapa making, that kind of knowledge?
That kind, yeah, exactly. Any kind of crafting, things that we no longer use today, because we have other things. Like, for example, I want to show how to make la'au lapa'au, like just like in the movie, like just while there's dialogue, like somebody's making la'au.
That's like natural medicines, like That's what Laulapa is for the listeners.
Yeah. Thank you. And things like that. Like, for example, you remember how they said, oh, Kukini could run so fast
that they
could get a fish for their ali'i and bring it back and the heart is still pumping.
Yeah.
Well, the way that they did that, nobody really knows this, is that the Kukini would go get the fish.
It's like a sprinter, like somebody really fast.
A very fast runner.
Yeah, very fast runner.
Like a messenger.
Yeah.
And not a lot of people know too much about Kukini, you know, and Kukini culture. Did you know that there was a competition on Hawaii Island every year for all the Kukini?
Oh, that's super cool.
Yeah, there would be races.
They go around the gulches and whatnot.
Yeah, and race each other.
Wow.
It was a very honorable thing. And anyway, the way that the fish would come back to the ali'i with their heart pumping is the Kukini would get the fish, get limu, wrap the fish in the limu, and then wrap it in tea leaf.
Yeah.
And so by the time it would get to the ali'i, still had water in its gills because it has water.
Yeah,
it's breathing the water with the seaweed.
Yeah, the tea leaf.
Yeah, and so that's one thing I want to highlight in my movie.
Us Hawaiians, we smart.
Yeah. And actually, that was the one thing that made me want to make the whole movie. Because knowing that mo'olelo legends, those myths about Maui, you know, like they have in the mo'olelo, they have all these other details in it. Like, oh, for example, Maui goes to his mother, Hina, and she's beating kapa, and the sun goes down before it can dry. So he slows down the sun, and now her kapa can dry, you know? But to me, I think the cool thing is, one, she's beating kapa, you know? It needs to dry. This is a thing that was done back in the day that's no longer done today. We don't really know what that looks like or how it's made, you know, but like showing these kind of details in the movie is what is the stuff that I'm gonna be living for, because you know, we don't really see that, and I think it's more interesting to see it in a movie rather than this is how we beat kapa.
Yeah, on an Instagram reel or something. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, this is kapa drying. You know, this is the dried kapa rehydrating in water. You know, like just show it in the you know, like maybe there's a scene where somebody goes to inside the halepe'a where all the wahine are beating their kapa because they have their ma'i or whatever.
Yeah.
Like these things that people don't know, I want to put that in my movies, and
that's so
so
cool.
that people can see it.
I kako'o that all the way. I'm a big supporter. I can't wait to watch these movies.
Yeah.
If you need it, if you need any extras, one of my like goals is to be in a movie as a dead body. So if you need a dead body,
I
let me
guarantee need some dead bodies.
Okay, all right.
Along
Hit me
the
up.
way.
Hit me up.
Yeah.
That's one of my weird goals in life.
I'm gonna need so many dead bodies that it will dam up the waters.
All right. I can give you one.
Yeah, okay.
It's funny because you were saying mo'olelo, and I was like, oh, that's the only mo'o we like, right? Mo'olelos.
Oh, yeah?
Not mo'os. Okay. Cool. So is that what you have planned next? Is that like the next step in your career, aside from music, or do you have goals for music as well?
I still have goals for music, for sure. You know, I'm trying to plan events for my own self here in the islands throughout the year, you know. What happened to me last year after my 2 tours got shut down, I had to think about it. What am I going to do, you know, if I can't travel anymore like I did for music? And I thought to myself, well, you know, we're so lucky and blessed to live in Hawaii, and our music industry is completely supportive of itself, you know. And it's just about creating different opportunities for my fans to experience my performances in a different way. So, you know, planning my own gigs on the other islands, you know, like that's really special and will be different each time you come out. Like it'll be a different experience. And so that's what I'm doing right now. So for my 2022, I'm doubling down on Hawaii and our people, our beautiful,
support
wonderful
local
community. Absolutely. And I'm gonna stay home. I don't really have too many plans. I don't have any plans in the books right now to leave Hawaii, and I'm 100% comfortable and confident that this is where it's at. And those of you who are listening, if you guys watch TV, if you guys watch movies, and you see, films that are filmed here, like TV shows that are made here in Hawaii, they are not using Hawaiian talent as much as they should be. And the reason is there's not a lot of Hawaiian talent to draw from. I'm speaking in terms of acting and actors. If we want to see our people represented in these characters on these screens, we need to get out there and start taking acting lessons, Like for sure, 100%, when my movie needs to be made, I'm going to be looking for Olelo, people who speak Olelo Hawaii, and I'm going to be looking for Hawaiians.
I love that.
And so there's going to be, I believe it 100%, the future is in movies and television here in Hawaii.
But doing it in a very appropriate way.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then soon it's going to be us telling our own stories from our perspective.
Woo, give me chicken skin, Paula. I love this.
Yeah, 100%.
That's my vision, my want for Hawaii is to keep everything local and tell our story in the way that it's supposed to. Because I see all these things like, just because of media and like movies growing up, it's like pineapples and these people who are trying to like appropriate our culture.
Absolutely.
And it's like we're moving into this generation where like this youth, and we've been through so much trauma and we're over it already. We're just like, okay, if this is gonna happen, it's gonna be on our terms.
Absolutely.
And that's the goal with this podcast. It's like I want to show people the real Hawaii. I want to with Hawaiiverse. I want people like to support local and the actual local businesses. I want people to hear the actual local Hawaiian people on the podcast. That's not somebody who just moved here 10 years ago and comes here every 6 months, because they have their vacation home, something like that. So I want to show them like the true Hawaiian culture, like what we sounded like, the things we did, and like give people the story behind it, not just like, oh, surfing's a Hawaiian thing.
Yeah.
No, but like, do you know the history of it? Like going back to like the ali'is and the certain woods that they used to use and carve.
There was a movie made about Duke.
Yes, I haven't seen that with the DeSoto,
Dwayne.
Right? Yes, I want to get him on the podcast.
I haven't seen the movie yet, but I do know that it was made by somebody who wasn't Hawaiian. So I'm interested to see the way that they help tell the story about Duke.
Yeah.
Because you know what I mean? Like I just have so much faith and belief in our people. We can do anything,
Yeah.
I was just watching a bunch of Marvel things, and I think it was Boba Fett.
Oh, okay, Disney. Yeah.
Star Wars. It was Boba Fett, I think the third episode where the lizard crawls into his ear or nose and like controls his mind from it. But anyway, that's Temuera Morrison, and he is the guy that played Jake Damas on Once We're Warriors. Now look at that, almost 30 years ago, like in 1990 something, I think 1997, I want to say, that movie came out or something. And look at his acting in that movie to now portraying Boba Fett in Star Wars. You know what I mean? One Maori guy.
Yeah.
Like,
that's awesome.
From then to now, he's still acting. He's still in it, And when I realized that, I was like, wow, man, if he can do that, there's no limit to what we can do in Hawaii. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, look at Jason Momoa, Nicole Scherzinger,
Yeah.
all these Bruno Mars, these talented people from Hawaii, actors, musicians, whatever. We have the talent here.
Yeah.
But what do you think is the problem that like stops us from getting to that next level?
No, I think we are still working on getting the talent here. You know, those are just a very small handful of people. But if you look at Magnum PI, whenever they have a new local person, it's usually when Samoan guy from California, Los Angeles, Long Beach.
With ties to Hawaii, right? Or like their parents.
No, they literally bring them in from California.
Wow.
Because there's not a lot of acting talent here. So that is the problem. And not a lot of people are into it, but not a lot of people realize that they need every type of look, you know? We need the bummy looking kind guy that
I should have not cut my hair then.
with the beer bottles on the sidewalks. We need the surfers that, you know, aren't pro surfers. We need like
that's me right there. If they need somebody to fall surfing,
you need one
that's
surfer,
me. Hit
that's
me
not
up.
one pro surfer.
You need one kook, that's me.
Yeah, exactly. We need everybody, you know. Like every kind of character is needed. Like punk rock looking guys, real nerdy kind guys that can morph into any type of character, you know. And that's what we lack here in Hawaii is that talent, the mass talent.
Maybe, do you think that's just the desire isn't there? Like nobody growing up, we want to be
people,
athletes. We want to fight UFC.
I don't think
we
people
really
realize like,
oh,
I can be one uncle and all I do in the movie is stir one pot. You know what I mean? They're not thinking like that. So there's no uncles sending in their headshots to, you know, Hawaii 5-0 or Magnum PI for, you know, a role. They don't know. They're at home feeding the chickens. You know what I mean?
Fighting the chickens.
That too. But you know what I'm saying? Like, we need way more people to just go out there, put yourselves out there. Yeah. Look in that one movie, Black Panther. There was like a 80 or 90 something year old lady, first time ever acting. And she acted in that. Black Panther. She was on tutu, like a queen or something, you know, like one ali'i.
Yeah.
But even that, you know, we need kupuna for being our movies. I'm gonna need some kupuna when it's time to roll out my movie. So if you're hearing this and you get kupuna, take pictures of them, submit them in, you know, for an extra whatever kind role.
Yeah.
Put your kids in there, you know, like we're gonna need to have our people in order to tell our own stories.
Yeah, if we want to represent Hawaii the way we want to represent it.
Yeah. And if we want to be able to tell our own stories in the way that we want to tell them, you know?
That's really good to know. Well, I'll send in my headshot for the dead body.
Bruh, send in your headshot. You never know. You could be anything. You could be a cop. You could be like a shave ice guy, anything, you know?
Funny.
You could be working at a gas station.
How do you do that? I have no idea how.
I have no idea either.
Just Google.
There's some talent agencies. If I looked up on my phone, I could figure it out and let everyone know. But like and then also if you put your intentions out there into the universe, you never know what will come back.
True.
You know?
Yeah.
It's the power of manifestation. Just dream it. And then the universe doesn't know that you don't know what you don't know. It'll just connect you to whatever you need when you need it.
That's awesome. Super cool. I love that. I got cool. That's something I'll look into after this. And I hope the listeners will take that to heart as well. I know I asked you if you could bring an ukulele to sing a song, and then we don't have the ukulele here right now. Your car is getting serviced, right? So it's in the car. Would you still mind singing us a song, like a cappella? Maybe just like a part of a song?
Sure.
So something you have in mind. I know you have that one song, Tangerine. It's a cappella, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean,
any song you could really do a cappella.
I'm gonna do. Okay.
I'm just like, I can't have you come on here and not sing a song.
I have a song. I I always say I was blessed with 2 gifts in life. I mean, I obviously have way more than 2 gifts, but I always say I was blessed with the gift of music and the gift of VIP parking.
Oh, okay.
So this is a funny song. No one's ever heard it before. But
exclusively here on the Hawaiiverse podcast.
I wrote it. It's about VIP parking. It's my VIP parking song.
I love it.
And it goes like this.
Okay. VIP parking song.
Yeah. VIP parking, activate. VIP parking, activate. Activate my VIP parking. VIP parking, activate. Chee-hoo, that's it.
Oh, that's simple as that. Does that work for the manifestation of
Hell
VIP parking?
I usually sing it with a little bit more soul, though, like, because I'm by myself in my car,
That's funny. So maybe this would be on one of your future EPs?
Probably not.
the opening.
I have a money song.
Or what's the money song?
One time this friend was complaining about not having money, and I said, girl, you cannot complain. You just got to always think to yourself and know that whenever you need it, it will be there for you, I was like, you can't be like, oh God, I don't have money. You got to be like, okay, when I need it, it's going to come. And so I wrote this song for my friend. It goes like this. Money comes to me whenever I need it. Yeah. Money, I always got lots around. Whoa. Money flows through me like a river, yeah. And when you got a lot of money, you got a lot of friends around. Yeah, when you got a lot of money, you got a lot of friends around.
Ooh, beautiful.
Chew.
Oh, wow, that's solid. I almost forgot we're recording a podcast now. I was just enjoying that so much. I was like, oh, shoot, I'm recording you on my phone. I'm like, oh, we're recording a podcast. I forgot.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
So guarantee I'm going to get choke money pretty soon because I sang that song. You just sang
and you got VIP parking.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I love that. That's going to be stuck in my head.
Sing that song, you guys. If you're ever feeling like you need some money and you're like a little bit afraid you might not make ends meet, sing that song, girl.
Yeah.
Boys, you guys are gonna get that money.
All right, promise. I'm gonna start singing that for the Hawaiiverse podcast. That's my money mantra. Okay, yeah. Right on. Hawaiiverse podcast. We need some money. Sponsor us. That's gonna be the opening of our podcast from now on. Just the money song.
I love it.
Awesome. Well, I had a great time speaking with you here on the Hawaiiverse podcast. Mahalo again for coming on and sharing your awesome stories and your great attitude for life over here. So I really appreciate you, Paula.
Oh, I appreciate you too. Thank you so much for having me. I've been a fan of yours since you were doing that, a race to 50K.
Yeah. I appreciate it.
And I always thought that was so cool. I followed you on that, and grateful to finally meet you and know that I'm connected to you through your niece. And
yeah. Sorry, I'm not dressed up as Buzz Lightyear for today's podcast.
Darn it!
That was. I know you were hoping for that after seeing my race to 50K, huh?
I would have took Woody too. Either one.
Are you a big Halloween dresser? Do you dress up for Halloween?
No, not really. But throughout my life, I've been a clown quite often.
Are you talking about figuratively or literally?
Both.
I relate. Never as dressed up as a clown. I just look like one sometimes, especially when surfing.
Act like one.
Especially when surfing.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Right on.
Note to self: if you need a goofy, clowny surfer, hit him up.
Or a dead body. Or a dead body. Okay. That's on the top of the list.
Classic.
All right. Well, do you have anything else to share with us? If not, can you tell us your socials?
I don't really have anything. If you want to keep in touch with me, I mean, I kind of took I pulled the disappearing act from Instagram for the most part right now, but I mean, I'm going to get back into it. But yeah, I would just my Instagram is pfunklove. You can check out my music on YouTube. I think it's Paula Fuga. or Paula Fuga.
Nice.
I also have a website. It's paulafugahawaii.com.
And that's Fuga.
Yep.
When you write it out, not when you sound it out. And then you're on Spotify as well, right?
Yep, I'm on Spotify, Apple Music, anywhere music is streamed. You can find my music there.
Okay, go check her out if you haven't listened to her. If you're a late bloomer to her talent like I am, go check them out. You won't be disappointed. All right, well, mahalo again for coming, and make sure you guys check out the giveaway with Hawaiiverse. And here's your speaker, Paula.
Ooh, awesome. I'm so excited. I love speakers.
So you can jam your own song. You can jam other songs on.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, maybe some country road with you and Jack.
Chill.
Actually, I actually met him once at Kimmy Warner's baby shower. Yeah, and it's funny because he comes up, he's like, I'm just swatting flies away with the tea leaf. And he comes up and he's like, hi, I'm Jack. And I'm like, yeah, I know who you are. It's just funny because it's like when we're talking about these people, we think they're like this, they're in like a different category as everybody else, but it's like just a regular human, right?
Yeah.
Just like a regular person just coming up, trying to get some food at one baby shower. And that was like a really cool moment for me. So
that's so cool. I had a similar moment too when Jack came up to me. He was like, hey, I'm Jack. And I was like, I know. I'm Paula. I know you're Jack.
Classic.
I recognize you.
Yeah. Well,
so
hopefully
cool.
I'll get him on the podcast one day and I'll be like, I met you once.
Yeah.
All right. Well, mahalo, Paula, for joining us on the Hawaiiverse podcast. Check us out on Hawaiiverse.com, the best place to support local. Spread aloha, be kind to one another, and mahalo for listening to us today. New episodes every Thursday, so make sure you follow us and leave a review. I'm your host, Kamaka, and you'll hear me next time on the Hawaiiverse podcast. Ahui ho.
Ahui ho.